Are you actually building the business or are you building a stressful job? So I asked myself that a few years ago where I was so stressed out with how much workload, with how we were able to scale, where I was actually rejecting jobs. It was to the point where I just said the money's just not even worth the amount of headache and stress and everything that came with that. My wife and I, we said, let's just reinvest the profits to build a team so we can have more stability, not have as much churn with the clients. And that's exactly what we did.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Unfiltered.
In this episode, we're going to be talking more about the details of how I was able to scale it and what we did to make things work. All right, I took some notes, so I'm going to make sure I don't miss anything here. Yeah, let's just go right into it. So when I first started BCS, I was basically doing everything. I was doing some of the cleaning if somebody called out or quit last minute, quoting, emailing, scheduling. I remember one specific night we had a small dental office because we were focused on small office cleaning jobs. This was a dental office that we cleaned twice a week, I think it was. And it was a Thursday or Friday night. I got woken up by my employee at 2 a.m. because he was running around doing multiple accounts for us. So it was about 2 a.m. He gave me a call and he basically said the entire building is flooding. Some of you may or may not know, dental offices, they have high pressure water, right, to cleaning your teeth and all that stuff. So one of those things popped. And when I say the pressure of water that was coming out of it, I went over there myself and saw it. It was just incredible. So much water, everything. It was just a massive disaster. So I learned two things. I learned a couple things, but the two things that stick out the most is employees will never work past 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning or at night, because I don't want to be woken up at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning because I have one employee doing so many jobs that these types of issues. At the time, it's 2 a.m. I'm like half asleep. I thought it was our fault that happened, and it wasn't. It just basically the pressure burst the pipes, but I didn't know that. So I was heading over there thinking it was our fault, our employees, so on and so forth. And when I went there, I shut the entire water down, right? Shut the main water down. So that was fine. We kind of situated that. Had to call the owner at 3 o'clock in the morning. At this time, it was about 3 o'clock in the morning. Let him know he was out of town, and just a whole disaster you can imagine. Long story short, we learned those two things where you're not working past 10 or 11 o'clock, and understanding just basic training of when something happens, this is how you solve it. So for example, I got there. My employee wasn't trained at the time. I was just taking phone calls and putting them into work, right? So I didn't have a training strategy. I didn't have any of that stuff. So that day I said, hey, the first thing you have to do when something like this happens is look for main water to shut it off so you can avoid as much damage as possible and save the client possibly thousands of dollars. So he didn't do that. It took about an hour. By the time I got there, it was probably an hour. So the water with so much pressure was running. I just thought it was not smart of me to not have these people trained in case of something. So I dealt with all of the pain, invoices, answering phone calls. I can go on and on and on. But at that point, I looked at myself. I said, this is not building a business. I don't see any successful business owners getting up at 2 o'clock in the morning, dealing with putting out these fires. That was a big waking point for me where I just said, you know what, we got to, from the beginning, systemize this, be able to make it a sustainable business. And that's what I focused on up until this point. So the shift that I had was basically saying, all right, so once we put these systems in place, it's not going to solve every issue and there's still going to be bottlenecks, but there's going to be a lot more clarity, understanding between the team and as well as myself, right? Between who's responsible for what systems we have in place for this and for that. Let's go into some of the systems that I'm talking about. So the first process that we implemented, and this is when we had a small team, maybe 4 or 5 people, just Google G Suite, right? At the time it was G Suite. I think it's Google Workspace now. But at the time, that helped with calendars, right? So when a client called us and said, hey, we need carpet cleaning, hey, we need window cleaning, whatever it was, we were able to get that phone call, put it into the system, into the schedule, and say, all right, well, this is when we have available, this is when we could do it. We would schedule that in. That was just clean and easy. And the thing about Google Workspace is you can put tasks in there. So if you had to send yourself a reminder to email a client or solve an issue or send out a proposal, whatever it was, you had all that stuff in your Google Calendar. So I highly recommend it. We still use it to this day. It has been great, and it has saved us, the team as big as it is now, so much time, energy, effort. Love it. Google Workspace, G Suite is still that name. As we started scaling, we started to add and implement things, right? So I know most of you are doing this. as soon as a client calls you or a potential lead, it's probably going right to your cell phone. You probably have your business line as your cell phone. That's fine until as you start getting bigger, I actually changed my phone number. I completely changed my phone number. We still kept that phone number and made that the business line phone number. But the reason I did that is because clients were calling me at all hours of the day, not the night, because we were specifically, till 10 o'clock at night, but all hours of the day. That caused us to blur the lines between my personal life and my business life. Do I answer this phone call? Do I not? Who's calling me, right? Numbers were unknown. So it just kind of made everything mush. So we implemented Ring Central. Ring Central is awesome. They're not a paid sponsor or anything, but we use them to this day. We've tried multiple platforms. They did not work out as well. It was very, very glitchy. You can record phone calls. You can do training purposes on there. You can add lines for different employees, especially if you have remote, awesome software. Over time, we created SOPs and trainings on those phones for those phone callers. And if it's our account manager or anyone that has access to the phones, we've created SOPs and trainings on those. So that kind of covered structure, scheduling, reminders, emails, and Ring Central handled all the phone calls. For invoicing, payroll, obviously we still use QB, we still use QuickBooks. QuickBooks is awesome, very easy to use. It's always been online. I've never had the computer version of it, which I know they're phasing out now. They only handle all our invoices and that is it. Communication for the team, we use Slack. Slack is so good. Now, for those of you that are intimidated with new softwares, I will say that this is basically a texting software. However, it is awesome for one main reason. And that main reason is you can search your conversations. So if somebody had a conversation with a client, let's just say a complaint, right? You got a complaint, you put it into the software, account manager puts it into Slack and says, hey, we got a complaint for carpets. They weren't vacuumed. Can we make sure tonight that we get this solved? And all that stuff gets delegated to every one of our supervisors and managers, and they get to see it, and then they address it, and then we inspect it that same night with our area manager, right? Let's just say that was a Friday. We're able to go back and tap that out on Slack and show that it was done. Whatever supervisor inspecting it can actually complete it as done. And I can just simply go back, or my team, whoever, and say, there was a carpet for this account. Was that taken care of? Boom. And you can see that it was tasked out and completed. That is so great because now our account manager can follow up with our client that following Monday, Tuesday, and say, hey, that carpet was addressed. Can you let us know what your thoughts on it? We inspected it. Looks good. Keep us posted. Let us know and we can address it. That's why Slack is so important. I used to use my cell phone, like I said, for everything. And there was so many text threads that you could not scroll fast enough to find out what that issue was with that client or anything like that. So these types of softwares help tremendously. GoHighLevel for all our email automations, landing pages, so on and so forth. We track a lot on GoHighLevel. If you're getting started, you probably don't need GoHighLevel. You could probably use MailChimp, something that's a little bit more cost effective. GoHighLevel is, like in my mind, it's more for scale where you have everything that you need at scale, but we use GoHighLevel. We also use a little ClickFunnels, but we kind of play off of each other. Also G Suite, another thing that I see here in my notes is G Suite. So we use Google Meets for all our meetings. So we schedule Google Meet meetings with even our clients or our staff, our remote staff, supervisors. It is awesome. I love it. And we've been using it for years. So with those softwares, just those softwares alone and the team behind them allows me to create content, right? This is what I'm doing. I'm creating content. So it frees up my time to continue to provide value. It also frees up my time to focus more on sales. It also opens up my time to be able to grow the business or invest into other businesses or do what I need to do to be able to have the time and energy and effort to focus on whatever it is that I'm doing. So with these softwares, we have SOPs, trainings, our payroll is running smoothly. Our team doesn't need answers from me unless it's something really, really important. But through these softwares and through this training, they're pretty much handling a lot of what they need without me making sure that being on top of every single thing. Also, another software that I didn't know, our operations software is in Notion. Notion is great because you can automate. So for example, if you don't know Notion, best example I can say is pretty much Monday.com. Monday.com is task management software. Notion, it basically is the same thing. However, you're able to create departments, you're able to do all this stuff, and It's a lot more affordable than Monday.com. That's why we use Notion, but you're able to see everything. So for example, all of the departments, we meet with our chief of person. So they meet with her. She makes sure all of the departments are taken care of. And from there, we do an update on Notion. Each supervisor does an update on Notion and they give us a small report basically. And I go in Notion and I see all of those reports. I know exactly what's happening, what's moving forward in every single department. So that could be billing, finance, that could be marketing, operations, especially marketing is SEO and all that stuff. So those are mainly HR is another big one, especially with the DOL, Department of Labor and all that stuff. So those are other huge factors in there as well. So that allows me to just get a small picture of what's going on in every single department. So I'm not in every single department every single day. I mainly focus on the sales and marketing side of things. So whether it's creating content, whether it's going out, bidding jobs or seeking out jobs or reaching out to potential leads, so on and so forth. So that's mainly what I focus on. But these platforms allow my team to run smoother. And if they ever have any questions, they go on Slack and they're like, hey, Daniel, we need this. Can we jump on a quick huddle? Slack also allows you to just pick up the phone and just talk like if it was a phone call. Obviously, we use a lot of VAs. So there's a lot of people all over the world that are helping us do what we do. So Slack is so important. I'm saying it again. That helps me run my business. I mean, for the most part, that's pretty much what we do. Obviously, like equipment, everything in operations, everything in marketing is a lot more detail into it. But this is just the surface, what we do to be able to structure our business and scale from there. There's a lot of learning curves for everyone, including myself. So as we built those systems and those processes in place, there has been a lot of headaches. However, the best thing about it is that you get to see weak links quickly, which I talked about that in a previous video. We talked about firing slow, fire quicker. We use software, task management softwares like Hubstaff to monitor screens. I mean, we can go really, really in depth, which we will over the course of some videos. And that helps with just understanding how productive is the team, how much work is everybody taking, is it too much work, do they need help? We can go down to the nitty gritty of how much stuff it takes to build a successful team. You will fail, but you succeed at the same time because you're able to understand what you did wrong and implement and continue to grow. That's it for this video. Tune back in, check out this video here on the side. It could help you build your business. Thank you all for tuning in. If you get value out of this, like and share. At the very least, like the video. That's all you need to do. Also, comment below. I would love to know what videos or what can help you in your business today. That is really important for me. I would love to just kind of dive into your issues, your problems, and I'll continue to make videos of what we do and how we run our business. But I want to hear more from you guys. So thank you guys very much. Tune in and we'll see you next time.